We call it the pubecast.
That makes sense. Wait, is anyone here shaven?
Hello all you listeners out there. This is a Slap It's Pubecast, living live from 10:49 PM Australian time. We are going to be entertaining you tonight. There's nothing like a good old Luke pinching my ass, and let's set this off. Okay, who's up first?
What a fucking intro.
Thanks for that, Caleb. That was
Yeah, we
don't
don't
talk like that.
I'll check on the next intro. I want to practice my radio voice.
Every week we have a new person doing the new voice and new intro each time.
Yeah.
Welcome to the podcast.
G'day, mate. We're here to do the intro.
How's it feel?
True Australian, mate. Gladys, start the intro, Gladys.
Sorry to anyone who's actually called Gladys.
Gladys,
what's the robot?
That someone's named Gladys in this modern day age is listening to this podcast. We're sorry.
Sorry, the big white robot hanging from the
Okay, Gladys, start up that pubecast. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, go.
Whatever that
I have a
is.
question.
A question or an anecdote.
Well, what's
or a
important in
story.
today's gaming society? Community stuff.
I think it's all bullshit, that's what I think.
It's probably the
Games
best.
journalism. Ethics and games journalism.
You know, I heard a while back there was it was a long time ago, but there was, I think it was the people behind Watch Dogs, when they were advertising the release of the game. When they had the press conference, as all the news journalists comes in, I was watching Total Biscuit, and there was he mentioned how all the journalists that attended the press conference that were giving a review of the copy afterwards, they were all given each one a free like Nokia or like a free phone, a smartphone, as like kind of like this present for you showing up and just seeing a video game, and like it's and in all honesty, it's like you're looking at it saying, oh, it's a nice gesture, but in all honesty, it's like saying, you're just giving all these people free phones for showing up. I mean, there's a dark undertone in there somewhere.
It's a bribe.
I can show up.
It's a pretty big
obviously.
bribe.
Although, I mean, you give them a phone, but that won't stop them from writing a bad review.
No. They can give pretty
It's
good
not like
reviews
they're
if they get
We'll
given
take
something.
that back now.
Yeah, but there
It's
was
not like they're gonna take back
out of the
the phone.
100 journalists that go there, you could probably like assume that there would be the handful that would go on to write good reviews. That a good margin of people would look at perspective. This person's influenced by the bride itself. So you could wonder and that's the common thing that happens in a lot of like certain companies that do very minor under the table that don't actually very seem
It's
obvious.
certainly unethical
Yeah.
trying to get like a biased
Well,
review.
it's not honestly saying, they're not coming out and saying, it's only unethical if you come out and say it's like a bribe. And most times it just slips right under the radar. These generous gifts that can go awry pretty well and easily.
The worst thing I saw was some guy bought something off of Amazon, and there was a little slip inside his package that said, rate us 5 stars and we'll give you a $10 refund. Like on the thing, like it's
serious?
yeah,
That's
like,
pretty bad.
go to the address and give us a 5-star review, then send us an email, and then we'll refund you $10 for whatever it was you bought. I think
Probably was like $10.
it was like a game controller to plug into your phone and stuff. But yeah, I'm just like, how if
What if
How
it
do you get
works?
away with that?
If it works and it works fine, then
I'd be
you might
ready
as well
for
just
5
give-
stars if it was good.
It's like,
Exactly.
It's like using mice and crawfish race.
Like honestly, the second you're giving us, if you're sending that message to them, you're obviously admitting that, hey, just so you know, your controller will break in the future. It's not that great. But just give us a great review
Yeah,
for
we'll
how.
give you a refund in advance.
Yeah, because we know it's gonna be bad, so we might as well.
We're so certain that this will break. We'll refund you now and save you.
But just say
trouble.
nice things about us.
You can't trust reviews anymore.
I've got a bit of a thing. I bought I
Julie, do the thing.
I sold a CPU on eBay. Got everything sent, and then the buyer sends me a message back. Oh yeah, I don't want it anymore. My mum bought me a new CPU.
Gladys
And
had a
then,
day off.
Did you wait for the money to come through?
Yeah, waiting for the money to come through into my PayPal account. And then I said, no, I don't take any refunds. And then I just got like each day I got a new eBay message with him just swearing at me.
Well, yeah, it's not your problem as soon as the
Yes,
transaction
so
has been.
If you openly
I've got
advertise,
the money now. Like eBay said, yeah, once you bought it,
openly
you bought it.
advertised beforehand that there would be no refunds for
Yeah, I
it,
did.
then there's honestly nothing he can do about it. He's made a decision.
Once the
beforehand,
transaction's been
and now he
made,
has to deal with
though,
that.
like
It's
it's
his
all
own decision, his
his,
own
like
forced
it's all
moves.
his
Also
side.
messages like he's going to come after me and shit, and we're like,
He's not going to come
after you.
He doesn't know
He's
yet.
got he's got the return address, so he's got my address, and I'm like, shit.
Just
Well,
one
good
of
for
us.
him.
Just,
He can walk up to your
He's
door.
Queensland, so I don't care.
He's probably
have you,
like
have you
10
seen
years old.
This
Lucy?
random
You know,
Queenslander who got his mum to buy him a fucking
I
computer.
know.
He's gonna walk to your door, a 6'4" big dude. He's gonna look at me face and say, "You owe me a CPU monitor."
Nah,
Like, some
look,
bullshit like
you know
that.
how Looney Tunes back in action when they like do the whole like unzip their entire body.
Oh
and
yeah,
someone
like
else,
3
it's
times.
like one of us just like.
I'm coming for you, you son
It's
of a
like,
bitch.
like somehow like one of us just somehow managed to be in Queensland. It's just a title chair like, fuck over.
Yeah, that was a bit of an experience with eBay.
I believe
Yeah,
the only
no.
time
As soon as
you're
the
required-
transaction's been made, that's all his problem.
Yeah.
I believe the only time you're required to give a refund if the product isn't as it was advertised or
Yeah.
is faulty or like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
He
Not
smashes
because
it. This is
changed their mind.
faulty.
You
Yeah.
can't. Yeah.
Well, and I paid extra for like I did everything right. Like I actually paid Australia Post extra.
Yeah, it should be an option there to
For
get
like
him the
insurance
yeah,
in
they
case
should-
you got damaged.
Yeah, and then they pay him the fucking thing.
They end up
Damage.
accepting the item. When it was sent to them.
I think so. Like he made a PayPal dispute, but they
Yeah.
came in my favour. And then I kept getting like messages. I think I just reported him, saying like I don't want to get messages from this guy anymore, and I tried to block him, and now it's stopped. So
You can just as long as
But did you receive the CPU back to you?
Oh no.
So they've just got it sitting in a drawer.
Yeah, basically. Like
Yeah,
they
if
can
he
sell
got-
it again. They
if-
can try and make money.
Well,
on
and
it.
also you got the money for it, so technically you have sold it. He just wants to return it, and you're not accepting the return. So in either way, you have sold it. So there's no
Yeah,
point
it's-
getting it back.
It's resolved on your end.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
it's
can
not
just
his
sell it
problem.
again for the same price and hopefully get money back for it.
I think like once you've pressed buy and you've sent the money through to PayPal, like it doesn't go into your bank
Once
account.
the money has been confirmed with PayPal,
Yeah.
and you've agreed beforehand, there will be no refunds, and there's
Yeah.
honestly nothing he can do. Like, as long as it's been openly advertised that there will be no refund for this product, there's nothing that PayPal or
But if you
eBay
say
can do.
there's like
unless the product's
there's
been
a
like
certain
made
period
out.
where
Yeah.
you can like unless otherwise indicated, you don't have to do shit all.
Anyway, I was interested. Where do you guys get your gaming movie reviews from? Like,
Gaming movie.
well, gaming and
reviews,
movie.
like reviews, just
Metacritic.
in general reviews and stuff.
Metacritic.
I don't really look at game reviews. I
Yeah.
decide
If it's
myself
some-
if I
I-
want
You
to.
think
it
it's
really-
gonna be-
It
everyone's
really depends on whether it's I'm iffy about it, whether I think it's worth the money, or if it's a really big game that has heaps of like the not The Last of Us. What was that game that really sucked? It was like the
Watch
digital
Dogs?
one.
Watch
Watch
Dogs,
Dogs. Yeah, like if I don't trust big releases now. I always wait like a week or so
Except
Mm.
for
to see the
Battlefront.
reviews.
Don't
Except for Battlefront
I got
and Fallout 4.
That's right. Well, Fallout 4 we know because it's sorry, blocking, but like it's well known Bethesda is
Yeah.
known for having glitchy like day one break games. But
But
the fact is, in the long run, the game is is a good enough quality that it's a forgivable thing. And honestly, these glitches have been usually in some weird ways been made to make the game better. Like there's actually things you can use.
They're not
And
game breaking.
they're never
Yeah.
none of them are game
They're
breaking.
just
And
some
then they're more
polarities.
like maybe a little bit lower frame here, there, maybe a bit low glitchy, maybe this person doesn't say the right thing, typo, that kind of stuff. They're very small, minor things. There's a lot of them, and that you'll no doubt run into them, and maybe your game will crash now and then. But honestly, your game will be consistent. It won't be a random problem that happens. Like with games like when it first came out, Assassin's Creed Unity, where it was like, play the game, you got 50-50 chance of playing it for an hour, and if not, you're going to have one hell of a hype. You're going to be on acid while you're playing this game, because it's just going to be all over the place. This guy's face is not going to be there anymore, just eyes and teeth at this point in time. But, so games like that, it's come to be expected. But other games, that's one reason why it's so hard to not trust IP games, especially when it comes to new IP games. New IP games coming from big game developers are pretty shoddy, because we have Watch Dogs, which was a major failure.
The Order 1886.
The Order 1886, which wasn't so very glitchy, but it's just a bad game in general. They passed it off this cinematic experience, bull crap.
Yeah.
When in truth, you're charging $60 for a movie that's like meant to be slightly longer. When a normal movie these days goes for like $40, that you have some interaction over. I mean, in truth, you got this really shitty played game that has very basic kind of controls, which has a very even if it's cinematic, it's very obvious kind of story. It tells where it's going to go, and there's nothing really interesting to it once you've completed it. Even though it has a massive kind of cliffhanger, there's going to be a sequel ending. It's honestly just a game built for its looks. It was built around the idea of looks, but they thought, we need to sell this to a gaming audience. Let's put some quick time events and some very basic cover shooting mechanics and ship it out and there you go. I mean, you have chapters in there which are 10 minutes long and it's just you walking down a hallway talking to someone. Or just ship it. Go out, get out there. So like you have games like Order 1886, Alien Colonial Marines. These are like very new IP games that are made by big name companies that just kind of get shoved out the door, and you can even argue like they just feel because they're new IP, there's not enough work put into them because no one can truly trust the material behind it. And there's other times where it's very common these days that we could probably all safely say, and no one would be surprised when Battlefront comes out. It looks nothing like the way it's been presented because that's a very scripted. Those are all scripted scenarios. The Squadron gameplay is a bunch of scripted people playing the game as the game wants to be played. I mean, let's be honest. When the game starts, the second the game starts, people are going to crash into it. They're going to head straight from the mission, the objective, and it's going to be over within a minute. Unless there's other elements they haven't shown, like if the ship has special shielding or there's stuff you have to do beside, or after the ship's destroyed, if they go destroy other objectives. That's all they're showing was, alright, these two are going to have to battle. Nothing's going to stop 20 people in ships ramming this one ship while another 20 have to defend it. Well, no matter how good you are, there's going to be some people that get through and they're going to blow up that ship like it was nothing.
It's going to be like Battlefront, just with people flying jets into ships.
And also stuff like the Hoth Battlefront. You're not going to have, when the game starts, 20 people waiting in the doorway for the waves to start. No, you're going to have people running out, they're getting shotgunned down. The AT-AT is just going to be staying in one spot, shooting into the spawn. The airplanes are going to be flying around trying to kill each other, and they're going to do a good job because the way they showed it was like, it's going to be really hard to hit people. But when you think about it, the way they're playing, they're purposely missing. They're purposely making the setting look right. Everything's timed. Everything's properly done. The best thing that would probably make the most sense is that scene where they're running through the trenches. There's the AT-AT in the background. There's like the people in the trenches just running around. People are getting shot down. That would be the most likely thing. Where it's just a chaotic thing that's constantly going on. There's people constantly getting shot down, but none of it's going to be scripted. So, and it's probably not going to look as good either. And honestly, it's not a matter of me, or people having doubts in the game. It's just become so common that whatever we see on CGI is honestly, or in trailers in general, is not what the product is. I mean, one of the most trusted franchises or companies out there, Red Software, which is the guys who made Witcher 3, their first trailer when they announced The Witcher 3 was this really amazing, kind of looking gameplay engine. And when it came out, they had to openly explain, this is not what you saw at E3. This was our best computer in our workshop playing this on the best TV screen monitor we possibly have. And if you're not playing this on PC, you're playing the game wrong. That's how they advertised Witcher 3 after it was released, because they openly admitted you're not going to be getting what you expected on consoles. The guy who created the CEO said, I'd rather not play Witcher at all than to play it on console because it's just not worth the experience. Even though I play it on console, I think it looks beautiful in experience. There's people out there who just can't stand the game. They think it's the worst piece of crap because it's not what they were advertised as doing. So it's expected that new IPs and what we see at E3 and that, no matter how good they look, there's a very small amount of companies like Nintendo and in some cases Bethesda where we trust what we see in their trailers, because games like Call of Duty, at this point Call of Duty's kind of stayed the same graphical level for the past 2 or 3 years, where you kind of expect what to see in that. But there's games like anything from Sony and I don't think that the Uncharted series is not going to look as good as they're presenting it to be. It's going to be a little bit more dry than it is. You can expect these things nowadays because it's become the medium of gaming marketing. But one thing I've noticed, one thing I picked up while I was watching a speed run on the Banjo-Kazooie games, and they had Grant Kirkhope, the music composer, come in and they were discussing how games from Rare were so perfectly made that they were almost even though they had products that could be used for glitches and speedruns, they were almost a game where you run it and there would be no crashes, no problems you wouldn't encounter. And it's a whole process that back in the day, whenever you played games, if there was a glitch, it would happen so frequently that you'd play games feeling that this game's perfect. I played this game and it never crashed on me once. And while these days you get a game that'll crash on you a couple of times a day.
Well, that's
and
because
he said it was because back in the day, the developers had control whether or not the game was going to be released. He said if the game's going to be crashy, they say we'll put off for another couple of months. We'll release it when it's ready. While these days, corporate management's in charge of the corporate management saying, this is the date, it's set. Ship it out by this. Where back in the day, Rare delayed Banjo-Kazooie by 2 years because they just weren't almost not done yet. Give us time.
Assassin's Creed is the perfect example of that. Because they pumped them out so quickly.
Nowadays we have internet, we have downloads, we have all these updates that they can patch and stuff over time. They just want to get the release out there, they just want to get the money. But back then,
It's just
they
a
didn't
game.
have that. As soon as the game's out, they can do shit all to fix it.
It's just it.
One of the big difficulties, I think, is that the complexity of games is so much more now than it was ever before. And that coupled with the kind of forced release dates. But then you think about an indie game. When have you ever heard of an indie game which is like, that's been successful, of course, having just day one game breaking stuff? Of course, the ones.
Minecraft.
Yeah, but of course the ones that are shit, people just
That
go.
had that pre-alpha. When Minecraft was in pre-alpha, it wasn't that great.
It wasn't exactly as much as
But it wasn't
Minecraft was
out,
breaking
though,
as much as it
There
was the
was no
servers.
pre-alpha.
The servers broke, or
But
it wasn't so much like the game
alpha,
itself
whatever it
breaking.
was.
Yeah, so it's difficult to test like servers if you don't have any players because the game
Yeah.
hasn't been released yet. So that's the whole beta thing.
Yeah,
But an indie game with like one or two devs who actually really do give a shit about the game just aren't going to release it until it's done.
It's harder to make a game for new platforms. I mean, the consoles are static. You know,
Yeah.
So as soon as they've come out.
it's the same hardware like since it's out. But like a PC, when everyone's PC is different.
Yeah.
It makes like everything a lot harder for developers.
Would you say it was fair for the Rockstar to, not Rockstar, so Rocksteady to like fire the people behind the PC port of the Arkham Knight game?
No, I didn't even know about
I think
it,
so,
but
yeah.
They fired
Well, they handed it off to the
No. Sorry, was it Arkham Knight or was it Mortal
Mortal
X?
Kombat.
Mortal X.
Well, that's fair
Yeah.
because they did shit over like fixing after it came out.
With Arkham Knight, they gave it off to a different company to do it, and then
Yeah,
they
they-
stuffed up.
With the MK thing, it's also what Jack said, the complexity of games. The patches were so big. It's not like they were just editing little, like, I mean, I know it's more complicated than that, like editing little things in the
Yeah.
games. Like, the patches were as big as the entire game.
Yeah, so it's-
download. It's like download the
this
whole
is 30
fucking
this
game
is a
again.
36
It's like,
gigabyte
it's not
game.
a patch, it's a re
Yes,
fucking
this
download.
is a 36 gigabyte game.
Yeah.
We're adding 15 gigabyte with
Yeah.
another 10 gigabyte the next
Yeah.
day.
One of those-
You're overdoing the
The
game.
first 15 gig update was something stupid, like they forgot to put all the cutscenes in full resolution, so they added them in after, like I finished the game.
I remember that. I think I had to re-download the entire game, or I think I did.
It
I
was
had to
yeah,
do this
15
massive
gig
update, and I
of
was
like high
"Oh, I
definition
paid for this."
cutscenes.
Yeah, it's weird. I was playing because I remember playing the Mortal Kombat storyline when it came out, and there was no cutscenes. It just went from 5 to 5 to 5 because the cutscenes were not included at all.
Well, they were. Like I played through the whole thing with the cutscenes.
No, I mean
They-
when I did like the day the update, like when I got to the day like on the end uploaded the second it finished.
Oh,
the
yeah,
thing,
there were
I
no
started playing. I was like,
cutscenes.
okay, story mode. It just did like it just
Yeah.
went, it had no cutscenes at all. And then the next day when I came back on, there was a small update. And I think it was like this missing file that unlocked it, and then it started working. But it was
No,
like,
it
kind of
was,
like a low quality thing.
Yeah, because originally story mode wasn't unlocked, and then when it was unlocked, there was,
It was just
no
the fight scene,
cutscenes.
yeah. That'd be good for a speedrun. Though.
It was pretty
Just
stu-
good fight.
It was pretty stupid how that all worked out. Like, I know they were testing it, but it
My biggest complaint with
it
that was you
didn't
just
work.
test on such a big IP that had such a
I
big,
mean, they
that had
did
such
release
big
it early.
expectations.
Like it was released early on Steam, so it ended up coming out at the right time.
but it wasn't playable.
It's been a really
That was
tough
probably
year.
the port. Though.
I think they would have been better off if they had like released it without telling anyone, like announcing it beforehand. It just kind of popped up and it was like secretly like downloading in the background.
Instead of you have to go and tick all the 20 packages.
Yeah, because then it kind of just went downhill after that. Because again, like when it comes to that kind of idea, it's a good idea and it had like promise to it, but you test it on such a major IP that it had so much expectation behind it, and people wanted to get
You
into
test
it
on
straight
such
away.
a major game,
Like why can't you just test it on more of an
like the
indie game?
reviews for the start of that were.
Yeah, but those guys were assholes.
Yeah, that was an asshole. There was like 500 negative like comments within the first like 3
Yeah.
hours.
Like
of
before the
release.
game's actual
Yeah, before the
release,
ga- yeah.
they were complaining.
And like, we had to go up. We were like the guys who were just replying how good the game was. Like we were writing views on what the console versions were because that's what the game like we're reviewing what the game is meant to be, not what the game is actually like playing like now. Because it's not what the game's intended purpose was. The game was not meant to be a menu simulator. This is the port that's not going so well. It'll be fixed in future. And although it kind of was a slightly broken game for the first like couple of weeks, that they needed to patch a bigger file version. It wasn't what the game was meant to be when it was released, which is kind of in a way unexcusable. Like, and that's the reason why they kind of fired that development team. But still, it just goes to raise the question, like it kind of asks like, is that what should be expected from these kind of games these days, where people are just going to say they're just going to start adding patches in? If this game's broken, we'll just add a patch tomorrow. We'll get fixed then.
Do you guys think that it's wrong that people are like paying for games before they're finished through Kickstarter and they're releasing like games in beta. I don't know, maybe I'm old-fashioned. I just think a game should be released.
Not so much
Maybe
because
a 15 megabyte
not
update
so
here
much
and
because
there,
the Kickstarters have a pro where like if you donate a small amount, like you donate like $20, you get the game. And like, and then when the game comes released, it's like a $60 game, and you've got it for like $20 because you put in money into it. It's like an investment in a way, and you pay $60, you get the game plus like all the pre-order bonuses plus a bunch of other special stuff that come with it. So they can't try to even out that kind of stuff. But I mean, that's not every Kickstarter game. That's like, I mean, I know Shenmue 3 is doing that where it's like I think it's like a $10 to $20 purchase, like a Kickstarter, and you'll get the game for itself. And then like you get like a digital copy. Then like if you pay, you get the game plus a digital copy. You know, there's like little things added on each time. So I do know that there are a lot of Kickstarter. Ukulele like are doing that.
I kickstarted that for the first time.
Like, I think what was it like? Was it $10 or $20? You get the game?
Well, because it's in euros for them. I spent €30 for a bunch of stuff. I got a digital copy. I chose on what console or PC.
Yeah.
I got a soundtrack and a booklet and something else. I can't remember. At the moment. I've ordered.
Honestly, if it's from
I'm going to get the game.
If it's from Grand Coke, you deserve the music.
Oh yeah.
Music
Well, it's
when's it being released?
It's released
2017.
No, next year.
Next year.
Middle of next year, like October.
It's interesting the wording you use there because I think the whole point with Kickstarter is they don't want you to think I'm paying $20 and as that I'm ordering the game. It should be thought of I'm backing this project with $20.
So
I'm
it can be
supporting
better.
them with $20
Exactly.
so that they can get towards their goal, and as a result, I'll get this
I mean, look
reward.
at Star Citizen, how far they've
$250.
come. It's totally 100% crowdfunded.
Yeah.
And they've raised like $90 million or something, and they just keep adding stuff and making it better and better.
There was at Gamescom they showed the best footage of they had the social module, which is just an area you can walk around. It's got a bunch of shops and stuff, and that worked. That was like working, but they also showed multi-cruise ship like demo.
The Constellation.
Well, yeah, but the Constellation and the Retaliate and stuff. So pretty much they've got like 5 guys. 2 of them go off onto their own ship, and the other 3 go onto a different ship.
I was just going to talk about Shenmue. How it is funny how if you looked at what Shenmue the milestones they had before it got finished was because it got funded within like half an hour of it being announced. Because it had 2 million goal and it got funded within half an hour. They had started saying these like unbelievably high like expectations because they had like all these like the Spanish language pack, or then in like the Japanese and English they had all these different language packs. And then they had like bonuses like there's gonna be this fight scene, there's gonna be new mini games. They had kind of like a weird thing where it's like this mini game's gonna be available, then it's gonna be this like fight scene, then there's like part-time work, then entirely new combat system. Why is that not like more important up there compared to this other like smaller little things? And then they had like at the very bottom there, it went up for stage such a great expectation seeing how well it did. There was like a $200 million like milestone, which was like I can't remember what it was, but all I know is it was kind of like a disappointing add-on, which didn't really feel like a 200 million milestone. I think they got to like 89 million or something like that, like roughly when I last checked. They may have like blown that out of like proportions, but it's just that they put such high priority stuff lower down the line, and maybe I read it wrong. Maybe it isn't like high priority at all, and it's gonna be such small and little compared. But honestly, it's like I feel like the other point they were so expecting it to be like the best game ever and get the most funding that they kind of just lowered the expectation and just put it.
But the point of milestones is that the more money that's been pledged, the better the milestone you get. So
I know, but it feels like in a way it just felt like such. When you look at it on paper, it just looks so weird to have mini game, part-time work, in completely new combat system that's new and improved, and that's like the third one down. That's at like 150 milestone.
Yeah, with Ukulele, like that got funded pretty much in like 8 hours. I'm pretty sure. But the reason why they work these Kickstarters is because they're well known already. They've already had successes in the past, so that's why people fund them and can trust that they'll make a good game.
You put the Rare name on anything these days, it's kind of like 50-50 because like the games they made recently. But you put the original Rare development team, you get the fucking immediately a bunch of positive response from it because it's like a very micromanaged team.